Cacteria, Napi. These two were part of the Global Original Fan Design Unit competition way back in 2019, where the two placed first for breakers and physical damage dealers respectively. However, the timing of their release occurred before Clash of Wills, while most of the other fan design units were released with kits that catered to the new event, which, in hindsight, inadvertently made them feel neglected. Also, Napi was released before Sephiroth, but let's not talk about that. And now these two units have received revamps. This is super exciting, as it means you don't have to raise their EX levels any higher to get these buffs. Let's start with Cacteria, as she was released first. Her Magnus breaking needles have been raised from 87% to 89%, one step before 90%, but still a buff nonetheless. Thorny Teamwork has also strengthened its debuff, doubling its Fist Impero from 15% to 30%. Hard Boost now buffs two members on your team, Cacteria plus an ally of your choice. Her Limit Burst has also been buffed. The Fist Impero is raised from 25% to 35%, and the Elemental Imperos are raised from 130% to 135%. Her second form has also been buffed, boasting greater offensive capabilities. Not only have Piercing Punch, Desert's Fury, and Oasis's Retribution gained damage modifier buffs, but they've also gained morale scaling as well. The elemental attacks are really the true winners here, as their amplification buffs have also risen from 20% to 30%, bolstering their damage even further. Deadly Drought has also received a buff, raising the elemental imperos to 135% as well. Unfortunately, her Limit Burst in this form hasn't been buffed at all. Overall, Cacteria's revamps have definitely raised her viability, though her playstyle and use hasn't changed. As a result, you can stick with the damage rotation that was provided in my original reveal, which also happens to cover her strengths and weaknesses. At this point, Cacteria is in a much better position to really boast her teams, especially thanks to the buffed Imperos. Avalanche's Tifa especially will definitely appreciate these buffs, as well as many other Fist users in the future. Now, next up, Napi. She's also received several changes to certain abilities. Up first is Mugo Mimic, which now applies an HP barrier to the designated ally and Napi herself. Earth Shattering Fall hasn't received any modifier buffs, but it does gain morale scaling during Clash of Wills. Koopa Barrage loses its scaling effect, instead outright replacing it with a much stronger modifier, on top of adding morale scaling for Clash of Wills. The Looted Defender gains a 50% physical mitigation buff against Beast and Dragon enemies, though the cover itself hasn't been improved. Onto her second form. Ready to Rock Kupo has raised the amplification buff from 15% to 30%, and though the damage modifier hasn't been buffed, it has gained morale scaling. Cutesy Clobber hasn't gained any buffs in support, but it has gained a 30% Greatsword Impero plus the morale scaling for damage. In terms of passives, perhaps the most notable is a Chain Limit boost, so now she meets half the chain cap. Her Limit Burst has also been buffed, featuring a much stronger damage modifier, and the additional damage modifier boost for Koopa Barrage have been pushed from 2 turns to 3. So how good is Napi? Her buffs have pushed her by leaps and bounds. Thanks to the buffs to Koopa Barrage, her go-to move is now able to maintain a higher threshold of strength for a longer period of time. Even so, the suggested damage rotation remains the same, and even though she's gained some defensive tools, you'd often prefer to use her as a physical damage dealer instead. Ultimately, both units have received impressive buffs. Napi has been greatly strengthened in terms of damage, and Cacteria is even better as a breaker, thus sticking to their main roles from the 2019 fan design contest. Both units are more than usable in the current Clash of Wills, though admittedly they won't really work together perfectly, especially in terms of chaining. Overall, finding suitable chaining partners for Napi at this time might be a bit tough, though so long as you've got the chaining family down, you can trust in Napi to provide the imbios. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, then leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you got either of these units. I summoned for Napi, and got Cacteria from a Dark Vision summon event, so I'm more than happy to hear that they've received additional buffs. In fact, now I'm excited to see what kind of buffs King Behemoth will get. Can't wait for that.